What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the social club where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, and go ahead, like and subscribe. Check out all of our other content. Listen, 99% of the guys who are viewing this video right now is not subscribed to the channel. So please hit the subscribe button. It's 100% free. Let's get right into the topic. I want to get my opinion on the Super Bowl, and more importantly, the halftime show. And the reason why I think this is important is everyone has their opinion, but I just want to make sure in video form that it's explained to you guys where the NFL is actually going and how this halftime show and what you see out of Bad Bunny, you know, that's not the end of it. This is a part of a bigger, major 100-year plan that the NFL has for its future. And I'm just going to walk you guys through it real quick and just make sure you're aware of what the NFL has in mind. But first, I'm going to give you my honest opinion about the Bad Bunny halftime performance. I thought the vibes were there. I thought it was very well put together, but I don't speak Spanish, and that's literally where the crutch of the problem is that I don't know Spanish at all. So I just don't know what exactly he was saying. And I know who Bad Bunny is, and I've listened to Bad Bunny before, so it's not like I'm surprised. It's just, if I would have a critique for the NFL, you could have put subtitles on. You could have done something of that nature. Now, I get it. You could put subtitles on your own TV, but with that being said, I mean, you know, the NFL standard, like, yeah, y'all can meet us halfway with this, but again, it would make more sense once I explain this in the later part of this video, kind of what the NFL's vision is and everything of that nature. It seemed pretty normal. It wasn't, you know, there's symbolism, of course. It didn't seem overtly political. And the reason why I point that out is because, as many of you know, TPUSA decided to also have a halftime show with American artists that represent real America. So my thoughts on their halftime show is if they're actually able to pull in 5 to 6 million people. Now, again, this is allegedly, I guess, because, yeah, I know there's a bunch of videos out right now, people saying that they kind of fake their views, but I'm going to roll with it just for the sake of the conversation. If they can actually pull 5 to 6 million views during a Super Bowl, not only is that impressive, but they should do it again next year, honestly. Now, I think where TPUSA actually went wrong in how they approached this was, number one, their execution, 1,000%. The execution was not there. And number two, the messaging. You know, I think trying to create a message of hate and a message of divide is only going to go so far. If they would have focused more on just creating unity and just saying, this is an alternative to the halftime show, and our reason why is that we just want to spotlight other artists that may not have the opportunity to actually do a Super Bowl performance, I think that would have stretched their appeal. It would have made it a lot more pleasing to at least click on and watch than it strictly being politics. You know, I think that's where they lost a lot of people. And also their execution. I don't think the audio was really synced up how it should have been, and maybe the effort really wasn't there from the artists, or maybe you just need better artists, right? But I think if they go back and they fix some of the flaws that they've had in this initial one and try again next year, at the very least, there is a lot of advertisement money that is in that. If you could pull that amount of people to actually watch your content during the Super Bowl, people are going to be interested in that. So there's a lot for TPUSA to gain from this if they keep doing this year after year. Again, messaging and the actual execution of the product would be my two areas with that. But what they were trying to do in terms of combat the NFL was an absolute failure, because Bad Bunny Super Bowl is the most watched Super Bowl performance of all time. Now, they do say this every year, but this year, I'm more inclined to believe it, because Bad Bunny, if people didn't know before, he's one of the biggest names in the entire world. And then also just thinking about normal statistics, probably about 50 million Americans, if I'm correct. About 50 million people in America do speak Spanish. And people forget, Mexico and entire South America, most of those countries do speak Spanish, and they're within the same time zone as us. So they're going to be able to watch these games as well and listen in actual Spanish and actually enjoy it. So I do believe that number, that it actually was that amount of viewership. And with that time zone conversation, it actually helps me transition to what I think the NFL's overall goal is. Listen, the NFL is going global. That's their plan. They won America. They beat everyone. Football is not only the number one sport in America, but it's the number one sport in America by far. With the four major sports, there is football, there is basketball, there's hockey, and there's baseball. Football clears all of them. It's not even close. Clears all of them in terms of average viewers, total viewership, merchandise, sales, everything. It's not even close. So they won America, and now what they're looking at is, now their brand is so big, they want to compete with the world. So just like what I said before, in America, football is the most watched sport, but in the world, you're now going to be competing with soccer, you're going to be competing with cricket, you're even going to be competing with baseball again on a global stage, because way more people watch baseball around the world for their teams and stuff. So that's where the NFL is looking. And don't think of this as like a 10-year plan with Roger Goodell. Think of this as like a 100-year plan, as a full conglomerate with Roger Goodell and the next commissioner, whoever's going to come after that. That's their overall strategy. And I only say that because I want to emphasize that Bad Bunny isn't just a one-off. There's going to be way more Bad Bunnies. There's going to be way more things going on internationally. And the reason why is because they want to reach that bigger audience. Again, with the Spanish conversation in South America, that is a prime real estate position for the NFL to attack, because it's all within the same time zone. That's why you're having games in Brazil. That's why you're having games in Mexico City. All of that nature. It's because you can get those people to actually watch. All it is just making it a part of their day. They don't have to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. like you have to do in other countries around the world to watch football. And I think the NFL has made that very clear when you look at the international games. You know, going into next year, they're having 11 international games. And not only that, one of those games is going to be a divisional game in Australia. Now, I have a lot of issues with that, but I will save my personal comments for it a little bit towards the end of the video. You know, again, I can't stress this enough, how big football is in the United States, and it grows year over year. It has grown 10%, I believe, from 2025 to 2024. And bringing in gambling just makes it even worse, because now it's bringing casual people who just have money on the game to have money on the game that want to watch this, right? So what does that mean for us as Americans is that now we are sharing the sport that we love so much with the entire world. And that means our opinions and our thoughts on the matter are going to diminish by a lot. Let's just get into it. This is my overall opinion about it. I personally don't like it because I am a long-standing fan. I enjoy the concept of American culture and what we consider as that. But as you know, with a lot of things in American culture, it has gotten so big that now it's become globalized. But when I think of things that are globalized and the bureaucracy involved with that, it just gives you less power as the individual to make a difference if you want to see a certain change in the sport. Everyone who has watched football has their comments on the officiating. They have their comments on the prices of things, the jersey prices, the stadiums. They have their issues with tax dollars going into make dome stadiums. You know, they have their issue with their favorite team deciding to leave their city because there's not enough money in it, you know? If you are mad about that now, it's going to get significantly worse because if they're able to pull in a larger pool of people, it gives us less power to withhold our money, to go on strike, whatever we need to do to get the NFL's attention. And if I'm being very honest, we have nothing to blame but each other on that one, because even something simple, for example, Red Zone. Red Zone now has commercials, and everyone is still buying Red Zone. So we don't have a leg to stand on. It doesn't matter what the NFL does, we're still going to watch. And if anything, it's going to grow even more no matter what they do. So because of that, that's really my biggest concern. And what I don't like about the whole globalization with it is that that's just what's going to happen. They're going to be so big that none of our opinions is going to matter, or whatever they put up as a product, we're just going to have to watch. At this point, I'm curious on what you guys think, and I would like you to comment your thoughts down below. But before I close out this video, I do want to say one more thing about it, is that a lot of people are thinking, they're like, the NFL can never tap these markets. And why? Is because every single favela, every single bad area all around the world has a soccer ball. So they'll never beat these top sports, whether it's soccer or baseball or whatever the nature of that. My comment to that is that while it's going to be very hard to have professional sports in different countries around the world, in terms of playing just football and throwing the ball around, all you need is a football. So if they can change that perspective and grow that within the next 100 years to where, just like in America, every single hood in America has a football, has a basketball. If they can grow that to around the world and attack that certain market to where kids now have footballs to throw around, that's just going to create a bigger talent pool and a larger base for them in the future, not only to compete in the NFL potentially, but in general, just to buy merch, gain viewership, watch their teams, and all that nature. One thing I completely forgot to mention was my real disgust for not only these international games, but also making one of the international games a divisional game where it actually matters. I think that is horrendous, because when we're talking about player safety, when we're talking about, you know, the health and well-being of the athlete, if you've been on a long flight, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have had, you know what jet lag is. Now imagine trying to play a football game after being jet lagged, after probably playing through injuries and everything of that nature. I don't like that at all, especially when you're talking about a divisional game that 1000% matters, especially in the long run. I mean, you saw the 49ers and the Seahawks have to fight it out for first place towards the end of the year, and that completely changed the trajectory of both of those teams. So I don't like that stance at all. I understand that I'm powerless in it, but I don't like it. I don't like the idea of there being 8 a.m. Sunday games, or at this point, you're probably going to see like midday Tuesday games if they really go off the rails and make this an international game. But that's just my thoughts on it. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Again, comment down below your thoughts. I think that's it for me, man. That's the future. That's what we got going on. Like it, hate it, whatever. But that's where I see everything going. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. Other than that, just subscribe to the channel, check out all of our other content. And with that, peace. And we will see you in the next one.